Hello students, today we are going to discuss our poem My Mother at 66 and the poetess is Kamala Das. Kamala Das was born on 31st of March 1934 and she died on 31st of May 2009. Her place of birth was Kerala and her place of death is Pune. She was having so many names. For example, her pen name was Madhvi Kutti, her Muslim name was Kamala Shurya, and her name after marriage was Kamala Das. She was very well known Malayali as well as English poetess, and in this poem she has very beautifully described her personal experience as well as common paradox of human relationships. Let's start. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin, last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Doors, open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. Word meanings. Doze. Doze means sleep lightly for a moment, and ashamed means pale. Realized means to feel, to realize something. The poetess says that she was going to the Cochin airport by her car and her mother was sitting beside her. During her journey, she looked at her mother's face and she has very beautifully described her mother's face. Her mother was dozing. Her mouth was open and her face was ashamed, and it was ashamed like that of a corpse. Her mother's face was very much similar to the face of a corpse, to the face of a dead person. And she realized with pain that now her mother was very much old. Next, but soon put that thought away and looked out at a young tree sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her. Now the poetess became very sad. She was willing to change her mood. For that purpose, she looked outside. She looked outside the window of her car and she noticed two things. She has used two phrases. Students must remember these two very much important phrases. And the first one is merry children spilling out of their homes and young trees sprinting. Young trees sprinting and merry children spilling out of their homes. Sprinting means running very fast and spilling means coming out. So on the way, she saw that the young trees were running very fast and the merry children means the happy children were coming out of their homes. Now these two phrases are very much important in this poem. Young trees sprinting and the merry children spilling out of their homes. All these two symbols, you can say two signs, two symbols have been used by the poetess to show the beginning of the journey of life. And at the same time, her mother's face has been used as the symbol of the ending of the journey of life. Young trees sprinting, merry children spilling out of their homes. All these two symbols show the beginning of the journey of life. And her mother's face shows the ending of the journey of life. Now, she says, after the security check, she was standing away. She was standing a few yards away. And at the same time, she looked at her mother's face again. What did she notice? One, pale. Now notice these words. Ashamed, one, pale means yellow. So students, you must recognize the importance of yellow color in this poem. Ashamed means pale. One means pale. Pale means yellow. As a late winter's moon and felt that old familiar edge. My childhood's fear, but all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. Now, in the concluding lines, she has compared her mother's face with the late winter's moon. As we all know that the color of the late winter's moon is yellow. In the same way, the color of the poetess mother, the color of the poetess mother's face was also yellow. She was looking pale. And at that moment, she realized the well-known, the familiar ache, the familiar pain. And this pain is her old childhood's fear. Her old, familiar, well-known pain she realized at that moment. She was feeling helpless. She became very sad. She was not able to speak a word. And what did she do at last? She said, see you soon, Amma. See you soon, Amma. See you soon, Amma. Here, she has shown a kind of doubt because her mother was very much old. Whether she will be able to meet her mother again or not is a genuine question here. And at last she said, see you soon, Amma. And all I did was smile and smile and smile. At last, she was not able to speak a word. She just smiled and smiled and smiled. So in this poem, the poetess has described her personal experience as well as common paradox of human relationships. And the best way to learn this poem, to understand this poem is that the poetess has compared her mother's face with the late winter's moon. Her mother's face was looking like that of a corpse. Her mother's face was ashamed, wan, and pale. And must remember two very much important phrases: young trees sprinting and merry children spilling out of their homes. Students, you must take a screenshot and the link of PDF you are going to get in the description box. In our next video, we will discuss another poem. Thanks. Have a nice day.